For 20 years, wildlife expert and safari guide Jean Duplessis has guided clients to see parts of the migration. Now he plans to follow the wildebeests from the north to the short grass plains. That's where the females will drop their young in the largest mass birth of mammals on the planet. But it all starts with an incredibly treacherous river crossing.
I'm on the bank of the Mara River, where over 2 million wildebeest are gathered for an epic journey, traveling more than 500 kilometers into the southern Serengeti. That journey starts now in the Serengeti.
What drives the migration is rain. For the past 3 months, the rains have stayed in the north. But come October, there is a change, and the storms begin to move south, triggering an instinct in the wildebeest to move. Their first major obstacle is to cross the treacherous Mara River. And this morning, Jean is in the middle of the action.
I'm following a group of wildebeest. This group has now grown and it's constantly getting bigger. Off to my right are still streams of wildebeest coming out of the hills. Last night there was a huge amount of rain in this area, and that's those thunder showers that's now pulling down these wildebeest onto the riverbank.
This journey is their destiny, but it is fraught with dangers. About 250,000 wildebeest will die over the next year of natural causes like thirst, hunger, or exhaustion. And many more will die at the hands of predators, such as lions or crocodiles, that wait along the route. They approach the river crossing with caution. They sense the lurking dangers. But their instinct to move is stronger than their fear. Soon it becomes a mad rush. Now there are thousands jumping in. There are over 2 million wildebeest and zebra. It will take several weeks at many different crossing points before they have passed. The Mara's crocodiles hope to get in one last feed.
This was amazing. Just towards the end of the crossing, there was this enormous croc that got hold of a yearling and literally just took the entire head of this wildebeest in his mouth, and all of them submerged, and that's the last we ever saw of all of them.
The wildebeest migrate between two grassland areas, the Masai Mara in the north where they mate, and the short grass plains in the south where they give birth. They will be congregating on each grassland for approximately 3 months before the rains shift, and they begin to migrate out. The Tanzanian side of the Masai Mara is called the Lamai Wedge, and it's unique because it has unusually high numbers of predators in the area. In the open grasslands, Jean will have an easier time spotting them. To get there, Jean will have to brave the river too, but there's a problem. The bridge is flooded. Just a few days earlier, a vehicle tried to cross but got caught in the strong currents and plunged into the crocodile-infested waters, stranding 5 men. Despite the danger, Jean decides to go anyway. If he waits, the area could clear out of wildebeest, and he will miss his best chance to see the lions in action. Crossing the bridge is nerve-wracking. The trick is not to look down. If he does, he could begin to drift. Jean's experience serves him well. He makes it safely across to the Lamai Wedge.
When looking for lions, the easiest way to find them is to look for these clearings in between the herds of wildebeest. This time of the morning they would more than likely be moving, or they already be on the kill. But about an hour or two from now it would get too warm and they would be searching for shade. But for now we're focusing on the plains. I would get to a bit of elevation and then scan with binoculars and see if we can pick them out.
It's October, and the herds are in the midst of dealing with their first and biggest obstacle, crossing the Mara River, where slippery rocks, rough currents, and crocodiles are some of the deadly obstacles that will claim thousands of the animals. The wildebeest that make it across will continue south and to the next phase of the journey, the largest mass birthing grounds on the planet. And Jean wants to be there to witness the births. Before the migration moves, Jean wants to observe predator behavior. The best place to see this is in the area north of the Mara River, known as the Lamai Wedge. As the millions of wildebeest cross the Lamai, large predators come out in force.
When looking for lions, the easiest way to find them is to look for these clearings in between the herds of wildebeest. But for now we're focusing on the plains. I would get to a bit of elevation and then scan. This time of the morning they would more than likely be moving, or they already be on the kill.
Jean is looking for one of the clear signs of a kill, birds of prey circling above the Serengeti.
We're coming up on some vultures that's sitting on a carcass of something, obviously more than likely a wildebeest. It looks quite fresh. Yeah, it's a wildebeest that's been killed, and it doesn't look like hyenas. It's more than likely lions that had their fill, and as the sun rose, the vultures would pick up these kills and they came to completely clean it off and eat every small piece of meat.
With wildebeest kills scattered everywhere, Jean takes a closer look to see what he can learn about the predator behavior in the area.
What I'm seeing here is a clear indication of predators that's not very hungry. One can see that a very small part of the rib cage has actually been consumed. Nice signs of hyenas chewing this off, but also not hungry hyenas, because had they been hungry, they would have eaten this entire rib cage. This is, for a hyena, it takes no effort to consume thick bones such as this. Other things that point out to me are the skin that remains, the legs, and generally when there's huge competition for food in an area, hyenas would come in and grab a piece of leg and would run off. So the entire carcass would disperse over a very big area. So this points out to me that there potentially wasn't a lot of conflict around this carcass because animals are not hungry. There's food all over this system. I've got some hyenas in a kill here. It's a fresh kill. They all kind of feeding quite ferociously. There's about 5-6 of them, and a lot of them are still kind of pups. What's very interesting is there's a silverback jackal that's constantly darting in and trying to take a bite, but these hyenas are having none of that, and they tend to kind of chase him off. But a little bit away, it seems where the actual kill happened, there's some skin and pieces of meat lying around. There's a big group of vultures there, and the jackal is also focusing. There he's coming in now. Yeah, he's really